Hi, my name is Heather Owens. I am a certified grief coach. And if you have worked through any of my stuff with Her After, if you're one of the people that have downloaded my Her After workbooks, I'm honored and I feel very privileged that you chose me to walk with you on this journey as you're moving through grief. I did not choose this work. It chose me, as I have been moving through my own grief since 2018. If there was a poster child of ways to not grieve and you saw the picture, it would have been me. I've had a lot of trials and tribulations through this process. The majority of my grieving process was not, day by day, week by week, month by month. I was trapped in moment by moment, breath by breath. And most days it was hard for me to make it to my very next breath. A lot of people had given up on me. I had actually given up on myself. I was numb for 3 years. And my time, whenever Tony had passed away, my time froze. And it was like somebody hit the pause button, and I really didn't understand that. Throughout the time, I had been given heavenly downloads, gifts from heaven, from Tony, and they were placed inside of me, and it was really jumbled, but I understood it, and it would never be something that I would think that I would share with other people or even try to explain. I just really assumed that it was for me. And if you do know me, you know that I'm also a person that dreams, and about 80% of my dreams do come true. And after Tony had passed away, it took him 3 days to come to me, and he spent solidly the next year with me 4 to 5 times a week, and I was extremely, extremely greedy. Had I not had these experiences with him, I don't know that I would have made it. I don't think that I would probably be here. I think just, my heart would have stopped because it was so incredibly broken. However, like I said, the downloads, I never thought that they were for anybody else. As I have been moving through my own grief, part of what I did is I moved out to a tiny cabin in the middle of the woods. It was 147 inches. And I moved out there because I needed to be able to feel, unapologetically be me. I was so exhausted putting a mask on for other people. I was so tired of smiling or just trying to be okay for other people. I couldn't do it anymore. I was exhausted. One day, whenever I was out there, I have fell to my knees and I was screaming at God. I was so angry. And, why me? Why did you take him? And I was angry. I was so very angry. And I was crying so bad and just screaming. And there was a branch beside me. And I had picked up that branch, and with everything inside of me, I took that branch and I slammed it against a tree. And in that moment, when I slammed it against a tree, a vibration went up my fingers. Started my fingertips, one of my fingers, one up my hand, and one up my arm. And I was first feeling that I actually felt in 3 years because I had been so numb. And I'm not saying that that is the moment that everything transitioned. It's not. It's the moment that I realized that I was actually still alive, that I was still here, and that feeling was possible again. The branch that broke, I actually have it in the house. I'll show it to you at another time, but I kept that branch because it's such a pivotal moment for me. And, I continue to move through, and I'm, praying for different things, and I'm, really seeking validation with everything that I'm feeling. And there was nothing out there that would help me. Nothing. And I had got, in a tangent of, spending money. And it was, buying clothes, and the clothes wouldn't fit and I didn't care. So they would come in and I would just give them away, and I was trying to fill voids. That's what I was doing. So this year in 2025, throughout the time of praying, I met a man, and his name is Gavin, and he actually lost his person 3 months before Tony passed away. So he was going through much of the same thing as what I was, and he was having his own prayers and moving through his own grief. And as I was transitioning in my own grief, I ended up becoming the woman that he prayed for. And as he was moving through his transition with grief, he ended up being the man that I prayed for. And the blessing in him and I meeting, I definitely feel like Leslie and Tony had a huge part of Gavin and I being together. I don't doubt that for 1 second. Our journeys were quite the same, and there should have been so many times that our paths actually crossed, but they wouldn't, not until we were actually both in a position where, maybe we was ready. He appreciates me for who I am, and he allows me my space, and he allows me to unapologetically be me. And we actually got married in April of this year, and he lives in Tennessee and I lived in Pennsylvania. During that time, I was working in Pennsylvania, so I was driving 1,000 miles back to Pennsylvania every week, and then 1,000 miles back home. So I was driving 2,000 miles a week, and 15 hours each way, and my radio doesn't work. So I had a lot of time on my hands, a lot of silent time. And what I realized during that time is that the gifts that I have been given are not just for me. They were never just for me. But I had to be in a position where I would be healed enough, strong enough, ready enough, prepared enough, all of the things for you. So, Hereafter was created during the time of me driving back and forth. And Tony once told me in a dream that he would show me the beauty in all of this. And I was actually really mad when he said that, because what beauty is there in grief? Like, you're not here, so where's the beauty? You're never going to be able to show me the beauty. And he said, when I'm ready, that he would show me. And he did. He held his word. The beauty is in Hereafter. The Hereafter Way, my moving through collection. That is the beauty. The work that I have been doing, the work that has been placed inside of me, the divine interventions that have happened to me, I've actually been able to take and design into a 'Tis a Season collection and a Moving Through Grief collection. And I've been able to do it in such a way that is so incredibly beautiful for you. I was a person that was actually given the ability to create language for grief because that was missing and nobody had language for it. So I specifically came up with language for grief, and what I realized is that the downloads that I was getting was real stuff. It was actually real stuff, I just didn't know it. So what I did is I actually took the time to become a certified grief coach. Not for recognition, but just so that I knew that what I was preparing for you guys is good, is right. Because there is nothing more beautiful than being able to help heal the heart and the mind and the soul and the body of other people. So that's the story of Hereafter.